Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Monday, March 7th, 2016.
Commissioner Davis, James Repenning, and Assento are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning. Chris Smith with the Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning. Sunny Patel, Bureau of Engineering.
Mike Mullen, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning. Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning. Lance Owisha, the Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning. Adina Hopenstan, City Attorney.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we did not receive any speaker cards under general public comment, nor any of the regular items for today's agenda.
Okay, then we'll close general public comment. Our first item of business, the approval of the meeting minutes from the meeting of Friday, February 19th, 2016. Is there a second to my motion that we approve those meeting minutes? By Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve those meeting minutes. Agenda item number 1, Bureau of Engineering for Council District 1. Recommending the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of task for solicitation number 4, increasing the budget authority from $3,450,000 to $3,850,000 to SOMAS for design and support services for the North Spring Street Viaduct Widening and Rehabilitation Project. Scott Gibson.
Good morning. Scott Gibson with Bureau of Engineering, Bridge Improvement Division, the project manager for the North Spring Street Bridge project. Just to give you a little background on the project, we are widening the bridge on the south side by approximately 26 feet, and we're also seismically retrofitting the existing bridge. We've encountered some pretty severe delays on this project, mainly from unforeseen conditions. One of the major delays we encountered was when we encountered oil while we were installing the foundations within the river. We also had to drill through a man-made concrete structure at the east abutment. We've also had to adjust our design several times to account for differences between the existing bridge and the as-built conditions. So consequently, we are currently approximately a year behind schedule, and we need design support to cover that year delay we've encountered. And so this is why we are requesting an increase from $3.45 million to $3.85 million. I should also mention that within this $400,000 increase, we have received a $50,000 grant from the Annenberg Foundation, and this is to install a 4-inch recycled water line across the bridge, which will irrigate the proposed Albion Park on the east side of the bridge.
Any questions for Scott? Commissioner Assento?
Thank you. Scott, thanks for your report. So the $50,000 that comes from Annenberg Metabolic, is that offset the $400,000?
That's included within the $400,000, so that's within the $400,000.
So that's their contribution, sort of in-kind subsidy for that, and it's to design their specific portion of it. It's almost like a private type of...
Yeah, we've kind of been working closely with the Metabolic Studio. Their studio is at the west bank of our bridge. Previously, we've received, I think, $220,000 to redesign our pier walls, which are adjacent to their studio, really just for aesthetic purposes and to make it a little more safer. We installed some openings to provide lighting and added safety to that area.
Okay, Scott, and then second is, you know, the number in the board report, it says that there was the river pier footing was 4 feet higher than shown on as-bills. That's a big delta. That's a big change. Would we expect that to happen in terms of a 4-foot?
No, I mean, that was completely unexpected. You know, this bridge was built in 1929. The as-built are not 100% accurate, and so we got down there, and it was a big surprise. I will say one thing I've learned on this job is that widening a bridge is much more difficult than just building a brand new bridge, because everything is tied to that existing bridge. And so if you have any discrepancy between what's in the as-built plans and the existing conditions, it completely changes the design.
Great. Thanks.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Hi, good morning. On
Morning.
Any part of this portion that Metabolic is doing, is it in any way connected to the water wheel project, or is that?
It is. So
okay.
yeah, the water wheel will feed this recycled water line. So,
Perfect.
you know, we're only responsible for designing, and later we will install just the line that runs across the bridge, and then we will leave it up to them to connect to that
Right.
line.
Well, that explains the interest by Metabolic
Right.
to fund that portion of it, and I just
Right.
wanted to verify that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Commissioner Davis, your microphone a little closer for us.
Us about just briefly about the inclusion program on this project.
Do you mean the WBE, MBE? Yeah, so this is a federally funded project, and so we follow federal guidelines, which only tracks DBE. I can tell you that our DBE percentage is 61%. As far as MBE, WBE goes, I do know that IDC, which is our structural engineer, and GPA, which is our environmental firm, comprise approximately 43% of this contract, and they are both WBE. So we are at least 43% WBE.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Commissioner Cento has made a motion that we approve agenda item number 1. Any objection? Is there a second? By Commissioner Rodriguez. Any objections? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any problem sending number 1 forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Fernando, you got the Commissioner Rodriguez second?
I did. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Agenda item number 2, Bureau of Engineering for Council District 11, recommending that the board, 1, authorize $600,000 in additional contingency and approve a revised construction budget of $10,807,000 for the Hyperion Treatment Plant Effluent Pumping Plant Header Replacement Project, and authorize the city engineer to issue change order number 6 to Keywood Infrastructure West for a not-to-exceed amount of $177,000 and change order number 8 for a not-to-exceed amount of $423,000, thus the $600,000, for potential El Nino impacts. Eddie Ohanian.
Good morning. Eddie Ohanian from Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Division. Yes, this is a Hyperion Effluent Pumping Plant Header Replacement Project. This project was to replace the plant's pumping plant main header, a 10-foot diameter steel pipe, and also to rehab 5 suction and discharge pipes coming into the header, and also rehab the underground portion of the pipeline, which is another 10-foot diameter leading to the outfall. As part of the project, we're also going to replace 65 years old gravity valve and actuator. The effluent pumping plant at Hyperion delivers the effluent treated water from Hyperion to the ocean through the 5-mile outfall, either by gravity or use of pumps. In September 2014, this project was awarded for the amount of $9,083,000. In August 2015, the board has authorized $670,000 increase in project contingency just to replace the hydraulic actuator that controls the underground isolation valve. They call it gravity valve. Change order number 6. In September 20th, 2015, in preparation for shutting down the outfall, and the plant diverted the flow to 1-mile outfall, and the contractor was going to go down into the dip into the gravity line, remove a pipe, and install a 10-foot plug. Shutdown started on that day, September 20th. However, the day after, the plant had experienced material of sewage origin washing to the shores of their local beaches. They quickly had to shut down the operation and to investigate. However, on 27th of September, they allowed the contractor to continue construction of the replacing the gravity valve. During the 7 days of delay, the contractor has requested $177,000 change order for their delays and also delays to the subcontractors' activities and rental equipment. However, on November 2nd, 2015, contractors successfully completed this very difficult task, and the plant resumed normal operation of the 5-mile outfall. Change order number 8. However, on December 4, 2015, due to anticipated heavy rains and storm of El Nino, the plant wanted to stop all construction activities and delay construction until April 15. This delay had caused the contractor and their subcontractors some cost, and they had to demobilize from the site, and they're going to remobilize coming in April 15. And this change of $423,000 will pay for this, and also escalation of contractor for the labor and material. Combination of these two change orders, 6 and 8, is $600,000. Therefore, we are recommending increasing construction budget due to change orders 6 and 8 to $10,807,000.
Commissioner Penning?
So just to summarize, there are two kind of separate issues that are driving this. One being the situation that we had when the outfall, when we went to the 1 mile outfall, and the work that needed to be done as a result of stopping the work in order to address that kind of crisis situation, and then starting up again.
Correct.
And then the second change order relates to El Nino, the desire to delay work so that we're not dealing with excess amounts of stormwater in our system. So delaying work until April in order to get through El Nino results in another set of costs related to stopping and starting.
Correct.
Okay.
And just by looking through the board report, Eddie, is the cost because when we stop for El Nino, they're like, well, if we stop, why would there be costs? If just a layperson's reading this, it is the demobilization and the remobilization as a result of that results in the lion's share of the costs?
Yes, demobilization and remobilization of the contractor is a major part of this. However, there is delay in construction duration. So
on the back end, yeah.
There's about 4 months of delay to contractors' work, and they have to continue to pay for their equipment and their subcontractors.
Okay. Anything further on agenda item number 2? Is there a motion on number 2? By Commissioners Jacinto and Repenning. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3, Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Street Services for Council District 15, recommending that the board, 1, increase budget contingency by $85,000 and approve a revised budget of $385,000, and 2, authorize the city engineer to execute a revised MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with the Department of General Services to extend the completion date to April 30th, 2016 in connection with the Cabrillo Avenue extension north of Miraflores Avenue Channel Street Improvements Project. Michael. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, President. Good morning, board members, bureau representatives, city attorney, and controller. My name is Michael Haddad, and I work for the Bureau of Engineering Street Improvement Program. This project is a continuation of construction that started mid-2013, and it entails, as a background, the connections between 2 major streets in the South Bay, CT15. One street traveling east-west is Miraflores Avenue, and the other street traveling east-west is Channel Street. And we provided motorist access between the 2 major arterials for emergency vehicles. For if there is any blockage in one of those arterials, then motorists will be able to access the 110 freeway with no delays. This project also included Channel Street improvement, the south portion of Channel Street improvement, to be able to have this connectivity between the 2 major streets. We finished the first scope of work for the project. However, CD15, they came back and they asked for more improvement for pedestrian access between the newly constructed improvement and the existing improvements. These improvements will provide for pedestrian safety and accessibility to be able to travel southbound Channel Street. And at the same time, will provide for drainage, will facilitate the drainage along Channel Street. Then it will not flood the adjacent properties and will provide for a flow down Channel Street. We are requesting the board to approve additional budget contingency in the amount of $85,000. Because of the urgency of these projects and because of El Nino effects, we started the construction, and we asked our Commissioner Jacintos about starting the projects early. Then we will avoid having El Nino's effects with rainy seasons. So the improvement has been done and the project has been completed, and CD15 were happy about the improvements, and the project is substantially completed. We are requesting, in addition to the budget contingency, the extension for the MOU, because the MOU, to be amended, we need to provide extensions till April 30th. Then we'll be able to finish the projects and pay off GSD workforces. And we are here recommending the approval for the additional $85,000 and executing the MOU extension. And we provided the amendment. It was part of the transmittals.
Okay. Any questions on number 3? I don't have a question on number 3. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Mr. Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any problem sending number 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Agenda item number 4, Bureau of Sanitation. Recommending the board authorize the director of the Bureau or his designee to issue a notice of award to TRC Solutions Incorporated for technical support services related to the catch basin Phase 4 for the Machado Lake trash total maximum daily load in response to task order solicitation SN32 for a total cost of $300,000. Alice Gong, good morning.
Good morning, board members. I'm Alice Gong with the Bureau of Sanitation Watershed Protection Division, and we're here this morning to request authority to issue a notice of award to TRC Solutions.
Could you move a little closer to the microphone, maybe?
I'm sorry, is that better? I'm here this morning to request the Bureau of Sanitation's request to issue a notice of award to TRC Solutions in the amount of $300,000 for task order solicitation SN32 for the installation of 300 to 400 catch basin screens in the Machado Lake watershed area. Are there any questions?
Any questions from Ms. Gong? So, just generally, the importance of the Machado Lake trash total max, the TMDLs. Talk a little bit about the importance of...
Well, the trash TMDLs is basically what we've been doing throughout the city for a number of years is installing, I think, the older catch basins had no screens. We just had a bar across of it. And so to trash, when there was a storm event, all the water would take the trash into the catch basins, which is connected to our storm drain system, which eventually leads out to the ocean. So all the trash would end up in the ocean. So the trash TMDL that we have today requires that we put screens in front of our catch basin openings, and that prevents the trash from going into the screens. In high flow events, when we have issues with obviously flooding, those screens are mechanical, so they operate and they open and actually let the water in high flow events where we have to prevent flooding, so we just the trash does go to the ocean in those events. But the purpose of the screens, which we've been, I think, over 10 years now, been installing in the city, 10 to 15 years, is to prevent the trash from getting into the catch basins, and our street sweepers or sometimes sanitation staff have to come out and clean them out. We have our vacuum trucks that we vacuum out the trash, and they get taken to the city dumps.
Great, thank you. Very helpful. Commissioner Payne?
Just wanting to say that I believe that our trash TMDL citywide we are actually successfully meeting, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I think it's the only one that we're meeting though, right?
All the different TMDLs, I can't really speak on the other ones, but yes, we're hopefully going to meet those eventually.
Okay. I appreciate that. I mean, we're trying to do as much as we can on watershed protection with the limited funding that we have, so thank you for this.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez?
I just want to say, Alice, welcome back to watershed protection. You are probably the best suited to be there. I know you've been one of the trailblazers in this area, working alongside many of our talented staff in the Bureau of Sanitation, and so it's just good to have you back in this position.
Thank you very much.
Alice, could you tell me about where we are with regard to business inclusion on the project?
That's one of our requirements. So we have consultants that we use, and also vendors that we use to help us with to meet our trash TMDL requirements. And so part of our requirements is for them to, I think that's on your paperwork, or the board report, and it shows the percentage that we have for the MBE, WBE, and DBE vendors that we include in all of our projects.
This isn't a federally funded project, it's a locally funded project, right? Great. Thank you.
Any further questions? Commissioner Cento has made a motion to approve agenda.
Well, actually, I had a question.
Oh, you have a question?
Sorry.
Well, I jumped way ahead of you there, sir. Sorry about that. Go right ahead.
I wanted to thank the staff. I had a field trip out there, a site visit on Friday. Kendrick rode me around on that alligator, whatever you call it, too, and we didn't crash, so that's a good thing. But to understand the scope of that project is incredible in terms of what it will do for the lake, the rehabilitation of the lake, the watershed, all that region coming in. And I understand we talked about hydraulic swirlers that will separate trash and part of the catch basins in the screen, because with the TMDL is zero, I mean, there's a zero tolerance.
Right. Did you get to see the aqua blocks? They were replacing those.
Yeah, all that, and just we ran around the whole lake and look forward to it coming back next year too. So we appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was great. Okay. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, I knew you were going to make a motion. Commissioner Sindos made a motion, seconded by Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? With that objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you, Ms. Gong. Agenda item number 5. Bureau of Sanitation requesting that the mayor and the city council authorize the director of the bureau or his designee to apply for, accept, negotiate, and execute an agreement for a grant in the amount of $924,000 from the Southern California Gas Company under the Self-Generation Incentive Program for the Hyperion Digester Gas Utilization Project. Ben Attell. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben Attai from Regulatory Affairs Division of the Bureau of Sanitation. We are requesting approval to apply and receive a $924,000 grant for the Digester Gas Utilization Project, or DGUP. As you may know, sanitation is currently involved in the construction of DGUP, a heat and power facility at Hyperion Treatment Plant. It will utilize Hyperion's renewable digester gas to generate steam and electricity for the plant. This grant is from the Self-Generation Incentive Program, SGIP, which is managed by the California Public Utility Commission, PUC. It provides financial incentives for the installation of small electric generating facility. SGIP funding comes from states' electric rate payers. It is meant to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, reduce electricity bills, and resulting in increased electrical system reliability. PUC has assigned SoCal Gas as the program administrator for the Los Angeles area. Half of the rebate will be granted upfront, another half will be dispersed over the next 5 years. When the grant is received, it will go to the sewer construction and maintenance fund to offset the DGUP capital expenditures. This concludes my report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Well, other than we ought to jump out there and try to get that money while it's still there. Happy to have it. I don't have any questions on this. I'm happy that it's available. So, Commissioner Penning has made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 5. Is there a second? By Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6, Bureau of Sanitation, requesting the mayor and city council authorize the director of the Bureau of Sanitation or his designee to accept, execute, and submit grant documents for an amount not to exceed $110,000 from the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy for the Upper Los Angeles River Watershed Regional Multi-Benefit Project. Hugh Cox. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Huub Cox. I'm a senior environmental engineer with the Watershed Protection Division of LA Sanitation. And with me here today is Arnil Aguilar, sitting over here. He is the grant manager of sanitation, just in case you have any specific grant questions. This item is to request your approval to negotiate and execute a grant agreement between sanitation and the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, or the SMMC. And this organization promotes the creation and maintenance of open natural space and parks in our region. Proposition 84 has made funds available to SMMC to award grants for regional multi-benefit projects that combine stormwater capture with the creation of new open space and ecosystem rehabilitation. On our end, the Watershed Protection Division of LA Sanitation is responsible for the city's compliance with water quality regulations, the Federal Clean Water Act, our MS4 permit, and the TMDLs. Stormwater capture by regional multi-benefit projects is one of the key elements of our program to meet those regulations. So, since we and SMMC share the same objectives, we came to an agreement back in October 2014 for SMMC to provide us, LA Sanitation, with a grant of $110,000. The scope of the work of the proposed grant agreement is the development of 6 to 8 proposals for regional projects that will be included in the Enhanced Watershed Management Program for the Upper Los Angeles River Watershed. And this Enhanced Watershed Management Program is a regulatory document that is currently in development and close to completion by LA Sanitation in response to the new MS4 permit. The term of the grant agreement is for 3.5 years, and the monies that we will receive from SMCC will be reimbursed to the Stormwater Pollution Abatement Fund. And that concludes our staff report. I'd be happy to address any questions.
Is any questions? Commissioner Penning has made a motion to adopt agenda item number 6. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send it number forthwith. Good luck on that, Mr. Cox.
Thank you very much.
Love to hear about more of those grant monies become available. Agenda item number 8 is continued until Friday, March 11th at the end of the week. So we'll at the request of the Bureau, so we'll continue item 8. Item number 7, recommending the board concur with the action of Commissioner Davis approving the request of Ford EC Incorporated for subcontractor substitution of J.A. Concrete Construction with Rauch Rebar Incorporated to perform the reinforcing steel portion of the work, and Camilo Lopez Incorporated to perform the concrete flat work and caulking portion of the work in connection with the Central Los Angeles Recycling and Transfer Station, Clark's stormwater and safety improvements. Chris.
Good morning. Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration, General Services Division. The Bureau received a request from Ford EC on February 2nd, 2016 to substitute JA Concrete Construction, their bid listed OBE subcontractor for concrete and reinforcing steel work, with Roush Rebar, an SBE WB subcontractor, to perform the reinforcing steel portion of the work. Camila Lopez, doing business as CL Concrete, an MBE subcontractor, to perform concrete flat work and caulking. And Ford EC would perform the doweling and site building concrete. The Bureau verified that the request was, it included a letter from JA Concrete Construction withdrawing from their portion of the work. Their reason was that they're too busy with other work, which, if you look around, that's not too hard to understand, especially with concrete work. The Bureau did confirm that a good faith effort was conducted. The initial bid listing for JA's portion of the work was $2,196,115. The amount substituted by Ford for Roush is $364,430. For Camillo is $1,470,000, and Ford will self-perform $361,685, bringing the total amount of the substitution to $2,196,115, which is equal to the original bid listed amount. So the substitution is at no additional cost to the city. The Bureau concurs with the recommendation of Commissioner Davis to approve this substitution.
Commissioner Davis has made a motion, seconded by Commissioner Repenning. I was just trying to figure out if I had a question here. There was something that came up in the briefing that I was going to put on the record, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, the portion of Ford's work is fairly small.
Correct.
Regarding the overall substitution.
That's correct.
That they're doing themselves?
That's correct.
Okay. No cost to the city?
That's correct.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 7. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 7 forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Executive Officer, we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we're adjourned.